Just over a year ago, AI would struggle to build basic functioning apps like a to-do list. But today, with tools like Lindy, we're able to design, code, and deploy fully functional apps with just a single or a few prompts. And now AI has gone even further. Not only can it build the apps for us, but it can also test and debug them like a real developer would. But more on that in just a second. So the question isn't, can AI code anymore? The question is, how far can we go? Can AI build real complex solutions that we can use within our businesses or our everyday lives? Or does it fall apart once things get more complicated? Well, to find out, today we will push Lindy Build to 3 different levels of difficulty. We'll start off with level 1, a simple personal tool that you can use in your life and you can build in just a few minutes. Then we will push it further with level 2 and build something a little bit more complicated but with a fun twist. And at level 3 we will push it to the absolute limits and we'll try to build a real SaaS tool with external APIs, authentication, and of course a database. So let's get right into building. So to get started with Lindy Build, we'll head over to Lindy AI and then we'll click on this button here to build apps. Then I'm going to enter my prompt for the first app that we'll build. I'm going to tell here, build a responsive Kanban task grid web app, the 3 columns to do, doing, and done. Then I'm going to explain some of the core features as well as the UI UX. Then we'll click on the button here to proceed. Then Lindy will ask us a few questions to clarify what we're trying to build. I answered Lindy's question and it got right into building. You will see a Lindy agent launch its own computer and actually start the coding process. In the terminal, you'll be able to see as it's getting to work. Here on the left, we'll see the individual steps, telling us exactly what it's doing to build our app. Now, in a few minutes, we could actually see the core of our app already being there by clicking on the browser tab. And here we can see AI actually going through the app and testing out all of the functionality. It just filled in the task title to make sure that it works. We can see all of the steps here. For example, it was checking the delete button, the close model button, etc. Now, I've used pretty much every other vibe coding tool out there and none of them do that. They'll code the app and just send it over to you, while Lindy goes through its work and makes sure that everything functions. Now, this feature is actually really useful even if you're not an app developer. If you have a website or let's say you have a sales funnel, you can have Lindy go through your sales funnel and make sure that everything works so that you're not missing any sales. I'll see you in a second once Lindy is done testing and we can actually check our app.
A few moments later.
And there we have it. Our app is finished and we can now test it out by clicking the link here. We've got a simple clean UI exactly as I requested. We can click here to add a new task. So let's say go to the gym. Then we can add an emoji here, add a color, and then click create task. And boom, our task is created. We can edit the task. Awesome. We can delete it. That works as well. Let's add another task. Then we can drag and drop it to doing and done as well. And the filtering works as well. Let's try to add one more just to make sure filtering actually works. And if you click all, it shows all as well. In just a few minutes, we built a personal tool that we can now use to manage all of our tasks. I hope you're starting to see just how powerful Lindy Build is. I gave it one prompt and we didn't even have to do any fixes. So now let's get into level 2. And that's where the fun really begins. I've gone back to the building app screen. I'm going to enter my prompt here, told it to build a web game for me. Here we have the gameplay. I added some logic for the obstacles, the score, collision, and of course the UI UX. So let's get it to build. So here it asked us a few questions once again. Let's answer those questions. Here will give us some final details to make sure it understood what we want. And I'm going to say ready. Once again, AI launched the computer. We've got the computer here and it got to work. Okay, our game is finished. So let's test it out. Press space to start. Okay, it's really simple. But I did prompt it to make it go faster over time. So I think I can see it already getting faster. So I think it's working. But I'm not going to sit here and play this game forever. So let's crash. Okay, and nothing actually happens at the end screen. Let's go back through our prompt and check something real quick. Okay, so it didn't actually add the game over overlay, the score and retry. So let's prompt it to fix that. So I'll tell it to speed up the game. Make it get faster exponentially and make sure the end screen works after losing. Right now it's just blank. We need a retry button. So I sent it a prompt to fix the issues that we did run into, and now we just wait for it to fix our game. But as you could see from the first prompt, it was actually pretty decent. already. It got the logic that we needed, did the randomized orbs of different size, and as well as a functionality to end the game when you fail. Literally 2 minutes later, Lindy updated our game, so let's see if it works now. I'm gonna play it for a few seconds. Oh, okay, I was gonna say I'll play it for a few seconds to see if it's actually getting faster. And it's getting exponentially faster, because that's what I said, make it get exponentially harder. And I feel like I made it a little bit too hard, because now the orbs are going at bullet speed, and it feels like a little bit of a gamble. And it feels like I'm literally surviving an impossible task. Now that's pretty crazy. Now, that's a little bit of my fault that it got so hard, because I told it to get exponentially harder. So that's exactly what happened. But our game over screen now works. We got a final score, and we can click retry to restart the game. Beautiful. So in absolutely no time, I think Lindy passed the flying colors level 1 and level 2. But now let's put it to the real test and get to level 3 and try to build a real SaaS solution. Back again once to Lindy Build. I copy paste my prompt here, which is once again a massive prompt telling it what we want to build. For this one, I'm basically building a fully functional SaaS web app called SmartPlate, which will let users generate personalized daily meal plans using AI. They'll be able to save meals and manage their dietary preferences. So it's like an AI optimized meal planner. I give it a tech stack, core features, as well as like a lot of other information that I all need to set up the features. I just used ChatGPT to help me optimize this. Let's send that through. So it asked me a few clarifying questions like the framework, styling, deployment, etc. So I just clarified our framework, our styling, and for deployment, we're gonna go to the local for now to make sure everything works first. And if you want to, we could always ask it for instructions to publish to Netlify later on. So I'm gonna let Lindy build this one. It will take a little bit longer as we actually have quite a lot of features and things that we asked for. So I'm gonna leave it to work and then come back once it's finished. Okay, our project should be ready now. The only thing I had to do manually is update the Supabase, which is our external database tool, as well as our OpenAI keys. But now let's test it out. Okay, let's try signing up. Our sign up, I think, worked. Let's try logging in. Okay, it gave us an error that our email was not confirmed. Okay, I went to my inbox and confirmed the email. So let's try logging in now. Okay, and we're logged in. Okay, we have a few problems here, like the generate meal plan for today doesn't work. So let's take a screenshot to fix that. If you go to saved meals, that takes us back to the dashboard. Okay. And the settings here, we can actually adjust our intake. So let's say we want 3000 calories, vegetarian, save settings. And there was an error as well. Okay, I tried to one-shot this prompt, but this app is actually quite complicated. So there are a few errors. So let's actually go back to Lindy and fix them. I uploaded the screenshots here of the things that are not working. And then I'm just going to prompt it, telling it what the issues are. But I think that was pretty good. In one prompt, it was able to build the core features and have actual functional user authentication. If I go back to my Supabase project and I go to table editor and I go to authentication, I can actually see our user. So that's working perfectly. I'm sure the functionality works as well. It's probably just an issue with the button itself. But just in case, I prompted it telling it what the logic should be when we actually do use the button. But I'll get back to you once it's fixed. So actually the issue was not even within Lindy itself. I wasn't thorough enough and I didn't read through the quick start guide here, but it actually told me what I need to do within Supabase itself, which is my own fault. So what I had to do is just go to Supabase, go to my project and insert this SQL code here and then run it. Once I've done that, the app actually works. Whenever we adjust the settings here and then we click save, those settings now get updated and that information is stored under our user. And when we go to dashboard, this button now works. When we click generate meals, as you can see, the generator now works and we have 3 meals generated according to our needs. If you remember, in our settings, we set our preferences to keto. Let's click it again to generate more meals. And okay, once again, it generated 3 meals. Let's try saving them now. Okay, that didn't work, so we do have a small issue there, and I already prompted Lindy to fix that issue. So I'll be back once again once that issue is resolved. Okay, and the save functionality now works as well. Lindy fixed the error. We had to do one more SQL update within Supabase, and now it's fully functional. So when we click on generate meals, we wait a few seconds. It generates us 3 meals. I also added one more feature so we can actually click and see a grocery list as well as the recipe and the meals that we like. We can click on save meal and this meal will be saved to our profile. If you go to saved meals, we can now see all of them there. And if you want to, we can also remove them. And there we have it. With just a few prompts, we built out a functioning app with Supabase integration for user authentication, as well as a database that stores all of the users' data, as well as an open AI integration for the actual functionality. Now, if you wanted to, you could build out way more features and make it a really useful app for your users. This is an MVP, so we have very basic functionality. However, you can see that everything is working perfectly. And we got there with just a few prompts. And chances are, if we had a better prompt with even more details on how we want it to function, as well as if I actually read the documentation Lindy gave us when it generated the app, this could have worked in even just 1 or 2 prompts. And if you want to start vibe coding your own apps today, make sure to click the link in the description to check out Lindy for free. And to make this even better, Lindy is actually not just a vibe coding platform. It's actually a full-on automation platform that allows you to automate anything across the web. So not only can you build the app with it, you can actually use Lindy to build out AI agents that can act as your own AI employees, so that you can actually scale this app. For example, you can build out an AI agent that will help you with marketing, another AI agent that will help you with competitor research. You see where I'm going with this. And actually, if you want to see a full video on this, where we build an app and then we build AI agents to actually grow this app, make sure to leave a comment down below. And I will see you all in the next video.